Right, so that's the prayer. That's the most important prayer that we can pray as humans on this earth is, God, please don't let our faith fail us. If we're praying for someone else, pray for their faith, that their faith doesn't fail them. Pray for God to allow us to have strong faith, because with strong faith, we can get through anything, right? So when we're praying, it really only makes sense that we're praying and asking God for things like grace, mercy, forgiveness, faith that doesn't waver, discernment to be able to understand and see the things that He wants us to. Anything that really is going to help your spirit survive, right? So, strength, resiliency. We know that our flesh will fail. We know that our hearts will deceive us. We know that Satan is lurking and waiting to devour anyone that will let him. We know that our prayers really should be for things that are going to help the spirit, right? So if it's not for your spirit to survive this world, it's in vain. And I think that, like, if we break it down a little bit more, we know that everything that happens is God's will. So when we're praying for things to be different, right? For circumstances to change, for we're essentially coming up against God's will and we're asking Him to change it for us. We're asking Him to change His plans that He has for us. Um, I think when you really understand that, it's you realize it's not just this light thing to think in your head, oh, it would be so easy for Him to just do this for me really quick, because that's your. So I really believe that when we look at it like that, right, we're seeing a tiny fraction of a big, huge picture. So it's easy to kind of get lost in that. But when we're really considering what we're asking for in these moments and how vain it is, I imagine we might think a little bit more about what we're requesting. So when we instead come to God, not asking Him to change His plans, but understanding that they are His plans, and we instead ask for our faith to stay strong. We ask for things that will help our spirit survive. God is gracious. When we ask Him to change us and not the circumstances, He's gracious. When we come to Him and we're not asking Him to give us a fish so that we can eat, we're asking Him for a lesson to teach us how to fish. He is gracious. This is a God of substance, right? So when we ask for wisdom instead of an answer, we are acting in our faith diligently. I think that it's this type of prayer that comes from a place of truly letting go and giving it all to God. When we're able to let go and we're praying in a way that is not self-serving, right? So when you stop asking Him to align His will with your desires and you begin to ask Him to align your desires with His will, that is when you begin to have spiritual growth. That's when you are going to ask Him to fill you with His Spirit so that anyone that comes near you recognizes Him in you. So I think this is when we really are giving it all to God. That's when we're allowing Him to take control, and that is when things will start to move differently. So pay attention.